Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insiders. We come to you from the locker room once again. I'm Stephen King. Today we're going to continue our conversations with Islander head coaches Scott Malone and Stephanie Hughes, talking some baseball and softball today. Also, we'll check in with the Islander schedule and have some special features for you as well. Joining us at this time is the head coach of Islander baseball, Coach Scott Malone.
Stephen, great to be here.
Thank you for coming once again. Very interesting season so far, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. Let me ask you about this, because I always am very intrigued about how coaches, how you guys make decisions that you do. Ultimately, in particular, like pitching rotation, your weekend staff, your conference weekend staff, is that something you want to have set at a certain time of the year, or is it kind of an always evolving situation?
To be honest with you, my biggest thought process going in, and this is the verbiage I use with my staff, when we get off the bus and show up at the park, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day may be, I want to feel like, and I want my team to feel like, today's our day. Blanks on the mound. Whether that's a Foss, Belichick, hey, we got Dan going. I feel good about it. Those other guys, they're not going to have somebody better than our guy. And that's very simplistic, but that's the thought process is, I want our three best guys. I want that, almost like that safety net when we walk in. Oh, he's going today? Hey, man, we're good, and that's why, when I looked at it at the end of last weekend, Trevor Belichick, Matt Danton, two sophomores, those guys are now 9-2, and that number to me jumps off the stat page like no other. These two sophomores who were fringe guys for us at the beginning of the year are rolling at 9-2. I mean, how hard it is to go 9-2, So, I feel really good about it and the direction these guys and some young guys are taking us. So, and that's the key. We show up at the park, we feel like tonight, Trevor Foss is going for us, So, man, I feel really good about it.
In a lot of circumstances, that's the case. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily go to plan. Let's just say recently you faced Northwestern State and you came out and had a big struggle in the opening night of that. Ultimately got run ruled in that event. What do you do in that situation to get their mind right? Because sometimes it could shake a team a little bit.
As it's happening, you try and be as positive as you can with Trevor Foss. Keep him from tearing down the dugout, which, try and keep those emotions under check. But, and really, you really start talking to the offense. It's kind of like you go the other way. You start talking to the hitters, how we need a pickup, how we need a run here, how we need 2 runs, and we need to throw a punch. And, that was one of those nights where we didn't have anything going on the mound. We didn't play great defense, and we sure didn't hit. And, and it adds up against you, and it turns into a bad night. And you're getting out of there on a Friday at home, getting run ruled. But what I told them Saturday after the game, and this is the biggest compliment that I could give them, and I told them, these guys, this group, this team, this 2013 edition, they're always 1 or 2 days away from a really good game. And that's the biggest compliment that I've given them all year. And it's not about one guy. It's not just about this pitcher. It's not about this hitter. It's not just about the seniors. It's the group as a whole always seems to be 2 days away from a great game, So that's been a big positive for us, and that's prevented us from getting on a losing streak.
And which is interesting is that we make note of the Friday game, but you got to bring to the forefront as well the Saturday-Sunday games. You turn the whole thing around and ultimately ruled the Demons on both of those contests. So whatever was said, we'll give you all the credit. It sunk in. And in particular, there's something very interesting I want to talk about when it comes to that. In the 11-0 win against the Demons, something very rare took place that day. Kind of explain it to people. What happened that day, and do you think you'll ever see it again?
I don't know, as long as I've been doing that, I've ever seen it before. Every starter, 9 hitters, got an RBI. And I just don't think I've ever seen that before. And especially when, and the thing we talked about, I'm sure somebody scored 21 runs or 25 runs, that really weird offensive game where, everybody gets one. We scored 11 runs. And obviously 7 guys got an RBI and 2 guys got 2. It's just, it almost doesn't add up. How did that happen? It's like a guy hitting for the cycle or a pitcher throwing a perfect game. Like, how many different things have to fall in place. And we kind of jokingly talked as a staff, it's probably rarer than the cycle or even a no-hitter or whatever may have you. To score 11 runs and have 9 guys get an RBI, but it's great. It speaks to the kind of team that we have and how some guys have really come up with some clutch hits that have gotten us over the top. So again, it's been a fun season so far, and I hope there's some good stuff waiting for us down the road.
No doubt. I want to highlight something real quick. At the time of taping, team is 3rd in the Southern Conference in batting average, but a lot of individuals. Jonathan Gonzalez, your senior, top 10 in average, 3rd in RBIs and doubles, tied for 4th in home runs. You had Brad Porras, another one of your seniors, 2nd in doubles, Eric Weiss, 4th in triples, Trevor Foss, 3rd in strikeouts. Again, I think I said it, but what's that common denominator? I think it's that
Senior.
leadership.
You just named him. Yeah, I mean, and the whole time you're going down that sheet, I'm like, well, that guy's gone next year. That guy's gone next year. That guy's gone next year. And you're playing that thing out in your head. But again, I think that the staff knew the strength of this club was going to be the seniors. Trevor Foss on Friday nights, and we kind of call it murderers row in the middle of that lineup. Those seniors can really hit, and they're very imposing. And it's not just what they do, but it's when the other team hangs that scouting report or our lineup and you start looking at those big seniors, and they're going to have to pitch to those guys and figure out a way to get those guys out in a big spot. So those guys have been great for us, and obviously they're going to take us as far as we can go, and however long we can hold on to kind of one of these top spots, those guys are going to carry us.
Let me ask you one more thing before we go today. Has there been a different vibe in Chapman Field this season? The atmosphere, the fans. Kind of tell me what your thoughts are.
I feel like from a fan perspective now in year 6 of the Malone era, you've gotten your your regulars is the best way I can put it. The people who show up every day and they do it right. They sneak over to the dugout before the game and get that good luck handshake or just that fist bump and hey, go get them today. But you feel it. You sense it by our dugout. You sense it on the other side, and we've kind of starting to get those. That regular Islander baseball fan who's got their spot, and boy, they're excited and they get into every game, win or lose, they're there. In the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, they're there. And we have some presence. So and again, it goes back to, and it starts and stops in our dugout. We've had great energy in our dugout. The biggest thing we've avoided is that losing streak. And again, it goes, we're always 2 or 3 games away from a great game, and I think our fans sense that. And we've had some really good weekends at Chapman. We're home 3 out of the next 4 weekends. So, expectations are really quickly becoming very high for this club, and we need to finish strong.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen.
Coach Scott Malone joining us here in the locker room here on Islanders Insider. When we come back, focusing a little bit on baseball, the Islanders and the Hooks. It's coming your way here in just a moment on Islanders Insider.
What's Massage Envy Spa? For me, it's healthy, it's affordable. I mean, he always wants
pain relief.
Right. And I want a healthier complexion. And now we can get a customized massage or a healthy skin facial.
At a really good price.
At a great price. And nothing feels better than that.
Customized massages and healthy skin facials, all at the perfect price. Start a healthy routine today with Massage Envy Spa.
Go, you'll see.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, I'm going to turn things over to Teddy Medina as he brings us an up-close and personal look at the Islanders versus the Hooks.
On April 3rd, the Islanders took on the Corpus Christi Hooks in a historic first meeting between the teams. The team was more than pleased with their performance.
The game was a lot of fun. It was really cool to have the Hooks fans there, not only supporting the Hooks, but also the Islanders as well, to really put together a couple good innings and to hear their reaction every time we had something going or scored runs. It was just a cool experience.
I was really pleased with how we came out. I thought we got after him for 5 or 6 innings. I thought it was really competitive. I thought we were kind of hanging on every pitch. I thought the crowd was hanging on every pitch, and I agree 100%. I thought the game was a lot closer than the final score. And, maybe most importantly, I thought we put on a great show.
I mean, I was happy with how we went out and performed. It's always fun getting out there to play against those big league guys. So, getting out there and getting to play against them was a whole lot of fun. Yeah, we didn't go out there with the highest of expectations. You just wanted to play a good game. So, it was just a lot more fun than anything.
The Islanders had the unique opportunity of stepping onto the big stage at Whataburger Field, one of the premier minor league stadiums.
Playing at Whataburger Field is always a special opportunity just to be out there, playing with just tons of open seating, just the great backdrop with the bridge in the background, and especially just being able to hold more fans. It's always a cool experience.
Yeah, there's always a whole lot more energy whenever we play over there. I got to play there a lot in high school, so I mean it was a lot of fun.
And I think it was exciting at the beginning for our players to kind of get that sense of, hey, these guys are behind us. We got our first big hit, or Adam Helsher goes out and strikes off the leadoff guy, and you kind of feel this energy in the crowd of, whoa, let's, everybody's behind the Islanders, and it's going to be a fun night. And I'd love to see what would have happened, if we'd have maybe had the lead going into the ninth and really seen the fans get engaged. But it was a great night for Corpus Christi baseball.
It was for sure one of the bigger crowds I've ever played in front of, and just to hear their excitement every time that we put something together, and even got to score, and even that first inning striking out those batters, especially the leadoff batter, just seeing and hearing the reaction from the fans supporting us was awesome.
Islanders head coach Scott Malone used the game as a chance to show more of his roster, and more so as a chance for the players to show their skills.
We did try and get as many guys in the game. That was probably one of the things I was trying to do from the get-go. I wanted everybody, as many guys as I could, to get on the field that night, kind of have a sense of, one, going up against these professional guys, but two, like you said, just being on a great field in front of 5,000 of our local baseball fans. So, it was neat for Adam Helsher, a local guy, a senior who's been with us, for 4 years now, to make the start in that game, and then turn it over to O'Shea Dooms, kind of the local guy that's the future, of the program, and have him have such a great night, turn some heads around. And I know he threw a couple of pitches 94 miles an hour and got people talking and got people excited. So, from the seniors all the way down to the freshmen, everybody involved in our program. And like I said, the university, great experience for us, great night for Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Teddy Medina. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. It's time we talk a little Islanders softball, as we're joined by the head coach of our softball program, head coach Stephanie Hughes. Coach, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing okay. Good. Wanted to talk to you. We've had some ups and downs this year, no doubt. More than your share of headaches, I know that, and it's been some challenges, no doubt. But I'll tell you this, there was a moment most recently over at Chapman Field where we had some serious excitement. There's nothing better than the walk-off home run. Kind of tell us about that moment, the situation itself, the moment itself, the athlete, and the impact a moment like that has on a team. Well,
about the 3 weeks prior to this past weekend, we've been hitting the ball really well, out hitting most teams, actually. And the situation that came up, Valerie Perez, she had a big 2-out, 2 RBI hit earlier in the game to tie the game. And to have a runner on base already, we had somebody get out, and then just she looked at me, and it was almost like I knew, I didn't expect a home run, but I knew she was going to make good contact, make solid contact, and the way the wind was blowing that day, she hit it in the absolute perfect spot, and once she hit it, it was kind of like I knew it was gone. You could hear the other team behind me just saying, "Oh no," and it was fitting for her to do that. She's really been a leader on the field, in the locker room, all year long. So it's great for her to get that hit.
We've talked about her and the often injured. She's been playing through pain through most of the season.
Yes, she has. She's finally starting to feel better. I don't know that all of her injuries are completely healed, but she feels better, as good as she has all season right now. So that's the good thing about that.
And again, the impact of a moment like that on a team that it's had its struggles, but to have something really uplifting like that happen.
Yeah, it was huge. To see the girls, to see the look in their eye, to do it at home. The baseball team sitting there waiting for their game. They're watching the game, so they're whistling and yelling, and that's something that for a young team you need to have. You need to have those good feeling moments. So it was well deserved, and it was a happy time.
Outside of that moment, though, it has been difficult.
Right.
It has been difficult. It was a tough weekend period playing against Sam Houston State. Now, it's sometimes, I know the bats have been better as of late, but other times it's been tough getting the offense rolling. And you look at some things, and you know that you're struggling getting your base runners in play when you look at the statistics, and like you're the last in the league and getting hit by a pitch. You can't even get the break sometimes of just getting hit by a pitch. to get to first base. That's got to be kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah, it is. I've told some people all year long, if we're getting any luck, it's bad luck. We'll have a great hit and somebody makes an amazing defensive dive and double play. Things like that have happened to us all year long. And it's not so much about getting on base now. It's teaching them how to have a good at bat. You can have a great at bat and strike out. And that's what we're trying to do now is more of a teaching aspect and learn from it.
A lot of opportunities there.
Right.
You play the cards that are dealt, and you try to make the most of it, and ultimately make the athletes better, and truthfully, probably make the coaches better too, because it's a tough situation. You got to find a way to coach through it.
Oh, yeah, this is the most difficult coaching year I've ever had, and I've probably learned more this year than I ever have before, because it has been more teaching than anything else this year. So you have to learn different ways to approach things, different ways to say things, and try to get that out of your athletes.
I know things have been troublesome, but it got even more difficult recently with the loss of one of your pitchers. Talk about Ashley Elisario and her situation.
Ashley injured her knee. She's going to be out for the rest of the year. She's one of those kids that she's so athletic, and yes, she's a pitcher, but she's also a very good outfielder. She's a very good hitter. So we'd been using her in other defensive positions when she wasn't pitching, and it just kind of happened to be one of those freak moments, going after a ball in the outfield, and her cleat got stuck, and those things happen. So it does put us in a little bit of a position that we only have the two pitchers for the rest of the season. They're not used to throwing that much, and they're going to have to step up and take some more of those innings that Ashley would have had.
Yeah, how much more difficult is it for them and for you as far as just plain and simple regular game preparation?
It's not as much as far as a lineup shift or anything like that. It's more of, they've got to understand to where they're usually pitching 4 to 5 innings a game, they've got to step up and throw 6 to 7 innings per game. At this time of the year, it doesn't have much to do with conditioning. It doesn't have much to do with anything like that. It's more the mental side of it. Getting over that hump, we've had a hard time getting past the 6th inning this year. That's been the inning that none of us wanted to see. And that's a mental thing. We've got to get past that and know how to close a game.
Speaking of pitching, I'm on your staff, of course, Sarah Pauly. I remember when she
was okay.
She probably pitched about 98% of the innings in her campaign when she was an Islander. Having Sarah on the staff, I know that you've got a big pitching crew coming in next year as part of your recruiting. Does it help having someone like Sarah, who's not only was a great college pitcher but made a name for herself in the professional ranks, having her on your pitching staff?
Oh, it's huge. And to be able to have her, and I tease her all the time that I name drop her, but I do, and for her to have teammates that are Olympians, and for herself to, have been a part of a national team tryout and things like that. She knows not only how to handle big situations, but she knows how to get herself physically ready to play, as far as the conditioning aspect. She's having our pitching staff go through workouts that she herself is doing right now to prepare herself for her professional season. So it's a huge thing, and a lot of times you see these young players when you're recruiting and you say her name and their eyes just light up, because, that's the equivalent of, one of the baseball guys getting Roger Clemens or somebody like that to be their pitching coach. That's it's really huge in our game, and not to mention there's some schools that don't even have a pitching coach. So that aspect alone is a big thing. And in recruiting, you hear a lot of the pitchers say, I want a pitching coach. So to be able to say I have a pitching coach and she's pretty good herself that's a nice thing to have.
Who's the most intense of the coaching staff?
Oh, Sarah, by far. By far. There's times where I have to kind of tell her to dial it back just a little bit. When she's throwing BP and she's, you can see the competitiveness in her when she's throwing batting practice.
Coach, let me ask you this. At this time of the season, there's just the 3 weeks remaining at the time of taping. Do you have a different way of seeing things now? Asking the players for something different, understanding that it is more of a time of evaluation, getting prepared for next year?
We're not really asking them to do anything different. We're just asking them to continue to give us 100% and know that we're building towards the future. And they understand that. They know where we are in the standings. They know the reality of the situation. and just to go out and every day at practice, every day, for the games, whatever it might be, to give us 100% and really try to earn those spots for next year. We've got the one senior, and everybody else is coming back other than Megan. So, they know that they've got 6 people coming in next year, and they've got to work for those positions, and they understand that. And they have been, they've been giving me 100% every day, and they'll continue to do that. That's just their personality. This group is a very resilient group. They come in and work hard every day and work hard in the games, and it hasn't been an easy season, but they know that we're building something, and they understand that.
Hopefully so. Hopefully that's the case. Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Coach Stephanie Hughes joining us here in the locker room once again. When we come back, we'll wrap things up as we bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. More to come on Islanders Insider.
What's Massage Envy Spa? For me, it's healthy, it's affordable. I mean, he always wants
pain relief.
Right. And I want a healthier complexion. And now we can get a customized massage or a healthy skin facial.
At a really good price.
At a great price. And nothing feels better than that.
Customized massages and healthy skin facials, all at the perfect price. Start a healthy routine today with Massage Envy Spa.
Go, you'll see.
Welcome back to Islanders Insiders. We wrap things up today here from the locker room. Let's bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. Islander baseball heads out on the road as they travel to southeastern Louisiana on Friday, April 26th. That game will be at 6 o'clock. Saturday they'll compete at 2 and Sunday at 1. Doubleheader action at UT Pan American on a midweek game Tuesday, April 30th beginning at 3 p.m. And then the home series versus McNeese State on Friday, May 3rd at 6 o'clock. Saturday they'll take the field at 5, and Sunday they'll wrap up the 3-game series with a 1 o'clock start. Islanders softball will start a 3-game series with Nichols at Chapman Field on Saturday, April 27th. That'll be a doubleheader that gets underway starting at 2 p.m. The final game of the 3-game series will be Sunday, April 28th at noon. Then the return to Chapman Field for the final weekend of the regular season against the University of Central Arkansas. Doubleheader action begins Saturday, May 4th at 1, the finale on Sunday at 11 a.m. The Islanders tennis teams will be heading to the Southland Conference Tournament on the weekend of April 26th, with the women taking the court on Friday the 26th at 11 a.m. against McNeese State. Then on Saturday the 27th, it'll be the men taking the court as they take on the host team Lamar at 10 a.m. And Islander track and field will head to San Marcos as they'll go to Bobcat Stadium on Saturday, April 27th for an all-day event. And they'll follow that up with the Southland Conference Championships in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Friday, May 10th through Sunday, May 12th. For more information on Islanders schedules, you can check in at goislanders.com or look them up on Facebook or Twitter. Once again, we want to thank Scott Malone, head coach of Islander baseball, and Stephanie Hughes, head coach of Islanders softball, for joining us here in the locker room today. Thank you again to Teddy Medina, bringing us the inside look of the Islanders and the Hooks. And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in and checking in with us once again. I'm Stephen King from the locker room. This has been Islanders Insider.